Hey guys, it's Studios here, and Six Flags Great Adventure has just released the 2023 map for their Holiday in the Park event, and the reason why I'm making a video on this is because there are a lot of differences between this year's Holiday in the Park and last year's Holiday in the Park. The event is compressed a lot more than it has been in years past, so I'm going to be going over all the different things I've been able to notice from this year's map compared to years past. So first things first here, we can see the park boundary that has been established over here on the left side of the park. So they are going to have that little row of games open where the boardwalk starts, and it looks like that's where they're moving Stewie the Snowman as well, which is usually a little further up in the boardwalk. But right there will be the point where the boardwalk is closed, so you won't be able to access Garden State Grill or the Cheesesteak Place or any of those locations or Rita's. It's just going to be that little section of games. And it looks like they've also blocked the park off down here by Joker, so that path with the tunnel of lights will also not be accessible. The arcade, same thing there, will not be accessible. So that clearly establishes the park boundary there, which is nice, so we know exactly what to expect going into Holiday in the Park 2023. So moving on, we see the new location for Santa Claus, which has been moved to that little spot next to Six Flags Photos. If I remember correctly, that's where they had him last year as well. This year they converted that store into a store rather, and they had different merchandise there throughout the year, and it looked like now they were converting it back to Santa Claus's house, I guess they want to call it. So that's a good spot there. Then you'll exit right into the Six Flags Photos area so you can get your pictures. I'm curious how they're going to work that together with the new photo system, if it's going to be an option with the photo pass. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I'll let you guys know as soon as I find out about that. From there, we have, of course, Joy to the World, and what's interesting is that the Arboretum is not included on this map. Of course, the Arboretum hadn't existed as of last year's map, so it is not here. I'm going to guess that's probably because they just didn't put it in here on the map for the Holiday in the Park, or it could be because they are going to get rid of it for Flash Vertical Velocity Construction. Again, we're not too sure what the story is with the Arboretum, so we'll have to wait and see with that. Taking a look over here in Metropolis, we do have the Chiller Observatory on the map, but what's interesting is that it's not labeled as a VIP lounge or anything. I would assume they're planning on reopening it for Holiday in the Park and decking it out for the event, but it is not included on the map here, and further down as well, it's not listed in the area. So I'm not too sure what they're going to wind up doing with that space. We're just going to have to wait and see when it comes to that. Looking over here, I don't see any signs of Barnstormer being present. It actually looks like they covered it up, so I don't think they're intending on opening Barnstormer for Holiday in the Park 2023. I imagine it'll be open for around opening day of 2024, but we'll have to wait and see with that. Otherwise, though, I haven't seen anything too different on the map itself. It looks very similar to the one from last year. Where there are some differences, though, is when I scroll down and take a look at all the things listed for the park's event. So for one, we have all of the list of shows here on the left, and what we can see is a notable omission, that is Frost. It looks like Frost will not be returning for 2023 Holiday in the Park, which I think is a little odd. Could just be because they're trying to do as much as they can for 2024, and they had to cut Frost just to save on costs. Again, I'm not too sure, but don't expect to see Frost in the Showcase Theater this year. There are all these shows, though. A lot of these look very similar to what we've seen in years past. They do have this one here, Take a Journey with Santa and his helpers as they bring our 5-story tree to life. So looks like they're going to do this in addition to Holiday Magic, so they're going to have two different shows on the tree, which of course replaces the fountain during Holiday in the Park. And something else I noticed down here is Douglas's Jolly Joyride next to Joker. Family fun holiday hayride featuring a sing-along of your favorite holiday carols. So that's actually really cool, because this technically would be a new experience for Holiday in the Park, because they introduced the hayride during Fright Fest this year, or Kids Boo Fest, and I really enjoyed that. It took you all the way to the Swit Lake property and back. So I'm really curious about this Douglas's Jolly Joyride, how far out it's going to bring you, because I'm presuming they're going to use the same entrance that's right next to Harley Quinn that they used during Kids Boo Fest. So that actually has me very intrigued. I'm excited to see what they wind up doing there. And then, of course, taking a look at the list of attractions, you will see a couple of attractions omitted, which we knew about. I don't see Houdini's Great Escape on here anywhere unless I'm missing it. I also don't see Daredevil Dive, even though technically that area is open here with Gingerbread Junction, but Daredevil Dive is not included during Holiday in the Park, and I'm pretty sure usually it's not anyways. But other than that, everything else looks fairly similar to what I was expecting. You can see Skyway is indeed on there. You will have the round trip open during Holiday in the Park, which is always one of my favorite experiences during Holiday in the Park. Getting to see the park all lit up from up there is always a really cool sight. Also, taking a look at the map again, we see that the Holiday Craze Mirror Maze will be returning. They always do different seasonal type themes for the Mirror Maze. Of course, during Fright Fest, it's Reflections of the Dead, but during Holiday in the Park, they always theme it to Holiday Craze, so it's definitely something cool to check out. I'm pretty sure in years past, the proceeds benefit a charity, so definitely go check that out. It's always a really nice thing to see. And over here, of course, Joy to the World. I believe it's been here for the past 2 years now on this path that will soon be occupied by Flash. But it looks like they also have these trees here, so if I remember correctly, last year they really expanded this path for Holiday in the Park and put a lot of thematic elements over here. What I am curious to see is what they wind up doing with the show they usually have on the lakefront over here next to Joker. They usually have trees set up over there with a whole bunch of displays and everything going on, so it's possible that could be moved over here to the Cyborg path. I would not be surprised at all. It would make a lot of sense. It would be a good spot for it. Also, we see that the catering area is still shown on the map here. It has all the Christmas tree stuff too and everything, so I know that's not going to be open during Holiday in the Park. Of course, it wasn't open last year either from what I remember. They pretty much moved all that stuff that used to be called Merry Marketplace over by Johnny Rockets and that whole area, which is where they tend to do a lot of the event-focused stuff in the park now. So I imagine we'll probably see some Flash construction start in this general area around Holiday in the Park, probably towards the end of Holiday in the Park. We'll have to wait and see what happens there. But I am really excited for this event. If you haven't checked out Holiday in the Park in the past, it's a great event, one of my favorite Christmas events at the parks. It really is such a great display of lights and everything, and they have a lot of really good rides open. Of course, the ride selection is a little different this year than it was in years past. Years past used to have Green Lantern and Superman in addition to all these other rides. They are not open, but I'm pretty sure that's because they're going to be doing some great enhancements to the boardwalk for 2024, so it'll definitely be worth missing out on those for a little while so that we can have them back better than ever next year. But you still have plenty of great attractions like Nitro, Batman, Jersey Devil, Skull Mountain, Joker, and more, and of course indoor rides like Justice League and Dark Knight. So there's still plenty to do during Holiday in the Park. Definitely recommend coming to check it out. And just note that rides and all of that are weather permitting. There are minimum operating temperatures for all roller coasters, so they of course can't go past that. So if you see that it's going to be a really cold day, like 10 degrees maybe, rides that are outdoor probably will not be open because they can't be, so just keep that in mind. But for the most part, rides will be open. Definitely go check it out. Starts next weekend on the 25th of November, so definitely make sure you get yourself to Great Adventure for Holiday in the Park. Hope you guys enjoyed this overview of the new Holiday in the Park map. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more Six Flags Great Adventure content coming soon to Hollywood Studios. Goodbye, guys.